Hey there crew, Sean here, and it is my hump day, my Wednesday routine, which is normally my active recovery day. By this time each week I've normally had two big workouts, a Monday, a Tuesday, where I've lifted some fairly decent sized weights, unless I'm too sore to do that or I'm feeling a bit injured, as well as having some pretty decent energy system development days, so putting some decent cardio routines together as well. Wednesday is normally my day where I do some long, slower aerobic work, so it might be on the cross trainer, on the bike, but today I went for an outdoor walk around Bella Vista Waters. It was a 30-minute outdoor walk, so I got a few steps in there, and then I'm coming inside to go through my Pilates routine. Now, the first part of my Pilates routine is normally a stretching routine, which I'm going to show you that routine today. So it's going to involve a few stretches, those of which I'd like you to save this video if you like, and to complete these stretches at home. You can do these stretches every day, you could do these stretches a couple of times a week or once a week. But they are really, really effective stretches, and there are some really technical ones there, so really listen to my instructions, and as I said, save the video so you can go back and check out the cueing for each stretch. And you watch over time, if you complete these stretches day in, day out, or even weekly, you'll notice yourself improve. You'll notice your range of movement improve, therefore your overall flexibility and mobility and quality of life should improve as well. So, allow me to start with my first stretch that I go through. Now, just to preface this, I did my Pilates study with the Menezes Institute over in Chatswood. So the stretches and the Pilates exercises that I normally complete myself and prescribe in my programs with my clients is normally using that Menezes philosophy. Really, really effective way to exercise and a really, really great Pilates routine. So, the first one I normally do is called a standing roll down. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stand with my feet evenly placed under my hips, and I'm going to press into every part of my foot. We call it the tripod. It's the ball of the big toe, so the ball of the foot, the ball of the heel, into the ball of the foot, or the big toe, the bone just below, behind the big toe, and then the lateral border of the foot. So I'm pressing into the ground evenly, almost creating artificial arches under my feet. Standing tall with soft knees, I'm going to breathe in through my nose, and as I breathe out, I tuck my chin to my chest, and I'm rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae, imagining that I'm peeling my spine away from an imaginary wall. That's my breath out down to the bottom. I'm going to breathe in at the bottom, and then as I breathe out, I'm going to draw in my belt buckle line and start restacking my spine back up against an imaginary spine wall. I get to the top, I breathe in, and I'm breathing out down as far as I can comfortably go. You'll notice yourself improve every repetition of this even. Breathing at the bottom, and then I'm breathing out to come back up. Nice and tall at the top. And I breathe in once again, and I start breathing out, chin to chest, rolling down, vertebrae by vertebrae, down, 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 as far as I can go. I'm just hanging, breathe in at the bottom, and then I breathe out to come back up. Nice and tall at the top. Okay, so the next stretch is one that they call the stamina stretch at the Menezes Institute. It's really good to get your QL, the muscles just above your hip, and also get down through your lats and all these intercostals around your ribs there as well. So, the cueing for this one is important. I'm going to stand next to a pole or a door jamb. I'm going to hold on to the inside of the pole with my closest hand, my elbow still connected to my body. So at this stage, probably looks different because you're a mirror version, but for me it's my left elbow connected to the pole, my other hand comes across in front, I get nice and close, I'm not leaning over, I'm going to stretch away from the pole. That's phase one, stretching away from the pole. Phase two, I'm going to turn my hips and my inside foot towards the pole, and then that's phase two. Phase three, I'm going to stretch further, so allow myself to hang with my right arm, my top arm I should say. Now while my hips are pointing at the pole and I'm hanging from my top arm, I'm going to tilt my pelvis backwards at the top, and then rotate my rib cage around towards you. So now my hips are pointing at the pole, and I'm rotating my ribs around towards you. I'm getting a great stretch under my armpit, right down to my hip now. And I'm breathing in through the nose, and getting a good stretch through there. Focusing on my breathing, keeping my hips pointing at the pole, rotating my rib cage around towards you. And I stand up using my outside leg. Okay, I'm going to come around. I'll turn my back to you this time so you can see the opposite view. Alright, so now I've got my right hand connected to the pole. My left hand is at forehead height. First thing I'm going to do is stretch away from the pole. So I stretch. Oh, it's a good stretch down one side. Now one side will always feel better than the other. I'm going to turn my hips and my inside foot towards the pole. I'm going to stretch further. And then I'm going to tuck my pelvis. That's 3 or 4, sorry. And then I'm rotating my rib cage around and breathing. Back up there. So now I feel like I've really stretched down through my lats and into my lower back there. Got a bit of a head spin actually from all the breathing. Alright, we're going to go down into our floor-based stretches now. Okay, so I'm going to start here, give you a side-on view. This one now is called a start stretch. I'll just adjust the camera a bit for you. Great. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is with my legs out nice and straight in front. I'm going to take my arms right up to the ceiling and walk them down between my shoulder blades, and then very slowly just peel my upper spine. Imagining that my upper spine is connected to a wall, and I'm just peeling that away, keeping my bottom ribs still connected to that wall. Keeping my chin off my chest, looking down into my pelvis. While I'm going through this stretch, to intensify it, I'm now going to flex my toes back towards my body and drive my heels into the ground. And then I'm going to breathe in and come up and out of that stretch. That feels amazing. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to get a bit of hamstring and my QL down through my lower back there. So we're sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take one leg outside hip width, and I'm going to bring the opposite foot to that knee. Now, I'm going to rotate to this side with my arms up in the air, and I'm going to go down and grab my foot with my hand and walk my hands down between my shoulder blades, or my other hand down between my shoulder blades. I'm going to pull myself down to that foot. So I'm trying to lengthen my armpit and the crown of my head down towards that foot. Now while I'm down there, I'm going to rotate around towards that bent knee, and I'm going to focus on my breath. Breathe in to come back up. I'm going to take my other leg to the edge of or outside my hip width, and bring that foot, or the opposite foot. Now this knee's a bit tight today. I'm going to rotate around towards that bent knee and go down that line. First thing I'll do is pull myself down the line. So opening up my armpit and the crown of the head down towards the foot. While I'm down there, I'm going to rotate around towards the bent knee and focus on my breath. There goes that stretch there. Okay, so I've just stretched a lot of these posterior muscles. I've got some hamstring happening there, some QL. I'm now going to get into my hip flexors and my quadriceps. So quite often people have very tight hip flexors and quadriceps because we're sitting down at a desk all day and this muscle here is shortened. So right now I'm going to lengthen that out. So you can do this up against the wall or with your foot up on a bench, whatever you prefer. Okay, I might just move the camera up a bit so it doesn't cut my head off, even though I'm not too fussed about my head, I would assume. Okay, so I'm going to put one leg up against that wall or bench, and I'm going to come up onto my opposite foot. Now, when I come up into that position there, the stretch down through my hip flexor and quadriceps should feel like a 7 out of 10. So it's about a 7 at the moment. Now we want to intensify that to a 9. The way we're going to do that is at the moment my left leg is forward, so my left hand goes to my belt buckle line or my pubic bone, and my right hand goes to my butt cheek, my glute, my buttock, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to tilt my belt buckle line up to my ribs and pull my buttock down to the floor. Taking that intensity to 9 out of 10. There's that side. I go down to the ground. I take my opposite leg up against the wall, or the step. Come up to my opposite knee. Now, that's about a 7 out of 10. Now, my outside hand, pubic bone, the leg of the hand of the leg that's back, buttock. I draw pubic bone up to the ribs, pull the buttock down to the floor, and curl. And there's that. I've got one more stretch I'm going to do for my hamstrings, and I will adjust the camera once again. Okay, so I'm going to lay back down on the ground. Whew. A few head spins actually. Good. All right, there we go. All right, so laying down on the ground. This is just going to get through that belly of the hamstring. So I've got you in a bit of an angle there. That's okay. So, laying down on my back, I'm going to put one leg out to the ceiling, just a slight bend of the knee. So we don't want it bent like so, we don't want it fully extended, just a slight bend of the knee. I'm going to interlock my fingers behind the knee, and my thumbs included, and I'm slowly going to lengthen out my other leg, keeping my back flat. Now I'm going to draw that knee to that shoulder. While I'm drawing that knee to that shoulder, I feel a nice stretch through that hamstring. So it's right knee, right shoulder at the moment. Now I'm going to intensify it by flexing my toe back towards my body, trying to get the heel through the wall behind my head. That side done there. Now I'm going to pop my left leg up, slight bend of the knee, interlock my fingers behind my knee, slowly lengthen out my opposite foot, and draw the knee to the shoulder. And while drawing the knee to the shoulder, I'm focusing my breathing. And the leg is just slightly bent. Now I'm going to flex my toe back towards my head or the wall behind my head, trying to get that heel through the wall behind my head. And I'm going to recover. And that's it. So really effective stretches that I like to complete every now and then that really help mobilize your body, make you feel better. So then overall, you've got more mobility, better quality of life. Please save the video, go back and watch it if you want to complete this routine at home. If you'd like to come and see me and go through that routine in person, I'm very happy to do that, or we could even do it over a Zoom session. Just let me know in the comments below. Share away with anybody that you feel would find this video valuable, and good luck with all your exercise. I'll hear from you shortly.